people, the former Health Secretary and now backbench MP, Matt Hancock, should be applauded for his leadership in carrying the nation safely through the pandemic. I'm not one of those people. To others, he was a rule-breaking hypocrite who was caught snogging his aide in the back office whilst telling us we couldn't attend family funerals. And he locks up a country without revealing the cost-benefit of doing so. Does this man have no shame? Laurie, I'm going to start with you. You actually watched I'm a Celebrity for the first time last night, didn't you?
I did it for you.
Thank
I was thinking of you the entire time.
Thank you. Is that all the research you did before you came on the show? You literally watched a bit of telly in your nightie with a glass of wine?
Not even the wine. I was
with a notepad and pen.
My children came in, my teenage children were making fun of me. I couldn't get them to join me to do this.
Look, it's a good programme. I'm not a big fan of reality TV, but out of all of them, that's the one I can watch. Ant and Dec are just perennially funny and harmless and charming and cheeky, and I love them. And there's something about watching the heat of the Australian jungle in an October-November period of time here that is just restorative. However, my blood was boiling when I saw that Matt Hancock was going on.
Okay, so you watched it too?
Oh, I did watch it too. So go on. I mean, he wasn't there last night, to be clear. If you didn't see it, Matt Hancock wasn't there last night.
That was a disappointment. I invested an hour. I'm never going to get back again, and I am not getting any younger. To see Matt Hancock in Australia, and I didn't get it. This means I have to watch it again.
I'm sorry, yes, you do. You'll have to watch it again. We'll get you back on to know what you think of it. But Maya, honestly, I think it's appalling that a sitting MP who has also, just bear in mind, the reason he can't do any trials in I'm a Celebrity, right? Because he got trench foot while doing Celebrity SAS.
Yeah.
So he's done a reality show before this. He signed a deal with Channel 4 to say, no, I won't do any other celebrity shows before this goes out. And then he ripped that up and did I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah.
The man has got absolutely no shame or integrity.
Absolutely not. And to be fair, I'm in two minds here, because on the one hand, well, we haven't really fully defined the role of MPs because it's evolved on a societal level. We have to basically decide if we're going to see them as full-time jobs or whatever. But my two minds is the fact that, on the one hand, first, it's a bad look. Right now, cost of living crisis, you need to be in Parliament, you need to actually just be there, because it's not just like a reality show for like a day or two, it could be for weeks.
Absolutely.
Secondly, on the other hand, I'm like, but do I want someone like Matt Hancock in Parliament to deal with this? Maybe just stay away. But it's still, it's not a good look. That's the problem.
And his constituents have elected him to be there.
Yeah.
Ed, what do you think? You're going to be an MP one day soon.
Yes, I wouldn't do it. So, absolutely. I mean, I want to be there for my constituents. I think it's nuts that he's going on to doing it. I mean, one of the results of it, of course, is he's lost the whip. So he's now no longer a Conservative. He's actually an independent in Parliament. We haven't got his application yet to join the Climate Party, but when we get it, we'll have to seriously look at it. And if we really want somebody who's doing that in the Climate Party, but if he writes, we will consider it at least.
Don't. I'll tell you, don't have him. I don't trust him at all. I think,
I wasn't saying we were going to accept him.
Honestly, just so in terms of, we're all making light of it, and I think this is what I feel quite strongly about, is that my concern is he's now going to become a figure of fun. And I sort of still want people to feel angry with him, because I still think we have answers. There are questions that need answering about the lockdowns, with who profited, with what the logic was behind keeping our children away from school, with the indiscriminate vaccination of all age groups that he never explained the clinical reason for doing so. Are you worried, Maya, that we're just going to let him off the hook via a few funny little moments in the jungle?
And actually, more beyond that, we're basically encouraging bad behaviour. So a lot of people, as I said, we made fun and all that, but a lot of people are just basically going with the fun, saying, actually, let's punish him by, get him to do all these weird tasks. But actually, in reality, even subconsciously, that's what he wants. That they know, that's my punishment. I've already been punished by the public. But we won't actually do proper scrutiny. You don't have to encourage hateful anger. People go on the streets and attack the cars like the French. No, but we need.
Oh, I don't know. I've had my moments when I've been
not that revolutionary.
In support of that.
But we need anger enough to actually hold these people to account. And it seems like he's going to get away with it.
What should you do, Ed? As constituents, we've got to bring back our proper democracy, right? We need people to be engaged in politics, not feel apathetic about it. And maybe they feel like they're involved in politics by flicking through I'm a Celebrity. What should we do to express our absolute abhorrence that Matt Hancock is taking £400,000 to go and do this rubbish?
Well, I think the first thing is the constituents. I mean, I'd be certainly writing to Matt Hancock, I'd be writing to my local Conservative Party and complaining about it and saying that's absolutely not what I want my MP doing. And then I'd be getting ready to throw him out at the next election. So, and I reckon that's what's going to happen. happen to him, and it may well reflect on the Conservative Party as well, where a number of them are going to suffer from it, where people say, are you really serious in government when you let a senior backbencher like that go and off and do a show like that when we've got such big issues in this country?
Laurie, do you think we should just pay our MPs more money?
OK, I think it's time for us to start thinking about having that discussion. MPs make about 84 grand a year. Yes, that is one of the top percentiles in terms of payment. But if we want, there have been too many incidents over the past couple of years, and historically, with MPs using their position perhaps to enrich themselves. And there's it with Matt Hancock. You know, there are questions over contracts that were awarded to people that he knows.
Of course.
Like his girlfriend's brother, like the proprietor of his local pub.
Yeah.
All received contracts that may have not be linked to Matt Hancock. We need to look at this. Is it time to think about paying these people more and cutting back on any outside employment?
I want better people in politics, Maya. I want better people, and I meet impressive business people regularly, and I meet idiot politicians regularly. No offence, Ed, you're not one yet, you're still a businessman. So shouldn't we be incentivising good, intelligent, professional people with morals and ethics? As I'm saying it, I realise that they don't necessarily fit in the Venn diagram of politics. But don't we need that in order to encourage people to go into politics?
I used to believe that in terms of, we always said, the business-minded people with kind of success. It's not as black and white because, again, I'll bring you a couple of names. Sajid Javid, Rishi Sunak, these guys, they become successful, so good business-minded, right? But what are they doing now? Having said that, you still need talent. This argument for increasing pay it started because we want to reduce financial corruption or the need that MPs have to make extra money. But in reality, to be fair, looking at the people who actually make extra money, whether it's the second jobs or making speeches or writing books or columns, like that's how Boris made all his money as a backbencher, or dodgy stuff. Look at the people who did it. They were not the poor backbench MPs. Power corrupts. If they want to do it, even if you give them 200k a year, they're still going to go and find that dodgy contract with their neighbour. That's the problem.
but I don't know, because it would be banned. That outside stuff would be banned. It's only through a series of odd things that we found out about Owen Patterson, who most people didn't know. What he was accused of was proper corruption. And then his pal tried to change the rules to keep him out of trouble.
But you see, I think if you have the highest salary, a six-figure salary for MPs, and yet restrictions on everything else that they can do, that makes it clear.
And more. It has to be a full-time job.
It's too murky at the moment.
Yes. There's not enough transparency. And our MPs do make a little bit less than peers in other places. Most make over 100 grand. In fact, in Singapore, 330 grand a year. And there isn't a whole lot of corruption in Singapore. It is an imperfect analogy. I realize that. But I think it's time for us to talk about it.
But again, you have to define it, make it a permanent full-time job. Because on a societal level, it's basically full-time. But actually, legally and constitutionally, it's not. So, like that businessman in the City of London who's, talented, he's not going to get involved.
No.
Because he's been told, if you get involved, you're basically full-time. You can't do anything outside. But you have to actually do it properly.
It's about how do we encourage good people to go into politics, isn't it? Because when I was at school, at my state school, nobody ever said to me, you could be a politician, Bev. It wasn't an option. I went to university, I met all these public school boys who'd pretty much been having that conversation around the dinner table since they were born. You're coming to politics late in life, Ed. You've got teenage boys. Do you talk to them about being politicians?
Yes, we do. I mean, we talk about it, and at the moment I'm recommending them not to do it. But anyway, but having said that, there is another interesting aspect about this. And when you talk about politics, there are three levels in this country. You've got parish and town councils, the voluntary level, local government, and then government. Now, at the moment, out of the England and Wales, 10,000 parish councils, 3,000 of them don't have enough parish councillors. Young people today, 18-year-olds, could get involved in politics tomorrow by going to their parish and town council, getting their feet under the table and starting to make decisions, especially on things like climate emergency declarations, planning decisions, also things.
But you know what? The kids who do that, they're all weirdos. So, you know what I mean? They are all weirdos because they all want to be politicians, and there's something a bit odd about a 21-year-old who has megalomaniac tendencies. They're not normal.
Right, but that's why we need to encourage them now, because there's 3,000 spots there for those that aren't like that as well, for those who just want to do things for their community and are going into it for the right reasons and want to learn what it's like as well.
Can't even get them off their iPhones, Ed. Never mind getting to go to a parish council meeting where they have to talk about the recycling rota for the streets.
Oddly enough, in the parish council meeting, you're not told to turn your iPhone off.
Is that right? Oh, OK. In that case, our teenage sons would probably be right
I'm
there.
trying to imagine my teenage kids in any kind of a position of responsibility.
Exactly.
Happily, I don't think they're watching this because they're on their phones.
I know.
But thinking of my kids having any kind of power like that is...
No.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I feel a little bit unwell.
I mean, I would say not all kids are like that, and you're not talking about them making a decision on their own. They'll be sitting in a room with 10 or 12 other people who've been there probably for a long time,
Yeah.
who are our age groups and some older.
Okay. Right.